I'm really hyped up for the draft. We've got a pretty spicy pick coming for you guys. With the 7th pick of the CCL draft, 30K uses their first round to select the man, the myth, the legend, the most experienced player out of everyone in the pool, Hasawabs.
Liquid Hasawabs himself, probably one of the most veteran gamers in the draft in general, because this guy's not just a Heroes of the Storm player. He's got professional esports experience stretching back multiple games.
I mean, I did a lot of player interviews, and he was, I would say, probably the player interview I was impressed with the most. We talked for like an hour and a half, and he just taught me how to be a professional video game player. And like he really is so knowledgeable, and I'm really excited for the leadership and captain role that he's going to fill for our team. Really just bringing a lot of experience. He's someone I've always looked up to. I watched him playing StarCraft, and I'm really excited to have him play for our organization. Hasawabs, I'm sure you're seeing this. We are amped up to have you for 30K.
It makes sense. If Hasawabs didn't go in the first round, I would have been a little shocked. To be fair here, because he's just as Michael said, like he's one of the most experienced players, even outside of Heroes of the Storm. They have so much competitive experience that really helps a team beyond just playing in the game. You can keep level heads. You can know how to interact with other players and teammates. This is a great pickup for 30K, and it's a strong one indeed.
Yeah,
right,
I think Hasawabs' hand of influence is a large part of why Team Liquid was so competitive with the other two major European powerhouses, Dignitas and Fnatic. Yeah. He brought a lot of cool strategical flair to the team, and he was able to fill those roles as well and build a lovely squad together with them. And he's one of the most steady players. He was in one team for like 15 years. I mean, can you find them more loyal in esports?
Yeah, I mean, you said you played against him the first time in Warcraft 3 when he was like in his early teens or something like that. So he's been a gamer for a long time at a high level.
If I'm drafted for CCL, I will accept the new challenge that I get, and I will try to share my experience with my teammates, and I hope it makes a difference to become as successful as possible.
Supports, as far as the draft go, aren't valued as high. If there were less good supports, the person I'm about to pick, the young BBJ, would be way higher. So that's a big part of why we traded, is because I want BBJ on my roster. Not only is he the best support in North America and maybe the best in the world, he's also content king. So really excited to have BBJ joining the roster.
BBJ, the choice there, player / sometimes journalist in the community, it seems like lately. But you mentioned a great support player, but in game, what is it that BBJ brings besides just the mechanical skill?
Well, I mean, Abba Solo Hero is something that BBJ pretty much pioneered for HeroesHearth. Like, he's a drafter, he does secondary shot calling, really vocal player, as well as a trash talker. You know, he's always trying to play the mental game. As a player that was a trash talker, I love to see it. So I'm really, really, really excited to have BBJ join our roster. BBJ, you're a monster. I know you're seeing this. I'm going to be drafting someone that has more Smurfs than everyone. It's going to be Vespertine, formerly known as Liam, to be playing the offlane for us. Someone I'm really amped up and excited about to have, play for 30K. I mean, he's really dedicated. Like he's just a really solid offlane player. Like, he's one of the top ones, as well as he's really vocal and brings a lot when it comes to like team atmosphere, team communication. Yep. So that's like kind of the main things.
I gotta talk about this. Vesper, I don't think Udall put enough emphasis on this. Vesper is, in my opinion, one of the best North American offlaners. They coined like Urel being so dominant. Like I was talking earlier about drafting someone or having someone in your team where you force a ban. The Samuro player that I was mentioning beforehand. This is a player where you can force a Urel ban. There have been points in the past where it is jokingly said in chat, if Vesper gets Urel, GG, go next. And they have been nerfed and they have been brought more towards the center with that Dauntless at level 1. But regardless, I can't tell you how many times I've seen Vesper 1v5 on a Urel and use just all of their tools, Hand of Freedom, Ard Defender, everything, just to be able to get away in the end, and the friendly team gets so much value. So I'm ecstatic for this pick, and I'm ecstatic for Vesper as well.
He has a 70% win rate on Urel on NA, 66% on Greymane. Those are some pretty ridiculous numbers. So, and
also keep in mind here, Grubby, what Udall said at the beginning too: more Smurfs, and that is true because they said it. And I was like, who has this many? And I was like, oh yes, Vesper has an insane amount of Smurfs on North American servers.
We're picking, an absolute monster at tank, Mascarade. One of the best European tanks out there. excited to have him. I mean, mechanical genius. So really pumped to have Mascarade join 30K. He's hilarious. So good team environment. One of the funniest players I've ever like played with or watched play. Just in con, cracking jokes.
That's always important. Definitely to keep the mentality high, whether you're winning or losing.
He just wrote in chat that he was thinking of retiring because he hadn't been picked yet, but now
oh, wow. Pulling back from the edge, I guess.
We're like halfway through the draft show and they're like, that's it, I'm done.
It's done.
I mean, technically that was the 4th pick for 30K because they, did some pick trading with Chili Mountain, but still it's only the 3rd round. Mascarade, come on, man.
I do think this is a big win for them, though. But looking at their team synergy, Vesper, BBJ, Hazuabs, plus Mascarade, you're building a strong force and a strong experienced force as well.
We are going to select another ranged DPS. We're going to be picking Sammy and, absolute monster when it comes to Li Ming, Vala, a lot of those ranged DPS. We're pretty excited to have him join the squad, round us out. Yeah, Sammy's a really aggressive player. So you'll see him, looking for a lot of flanks. I am really excited to see the pairing of BBJ, Mascarade, and Sammy. BBJ playing aggressive with Sammy to kind of help enable him. And then Mascarade, just a really strong mechanical tank, setting everything up.
I think Sammy going in and having an aggressive assassin player who has an aggressive tank and aggressive support. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of blood coming out from 30K, but that's exciting. I like that.
That's my style right there. I like seeing this, bloodthirsty support over the years. One of the reasons why I started playing a lot of HOTS to begin with was just because you got to get in there, get aggressive right away from minute 1. And it's cool to see teams taking that to the limit, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
On September 16th, Sammy asked Twitterverse, still undecided if I want to play CCL, what does Twitter think? And Hasob said, yeah. And Lauer said, of course you should, man. And finally he's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to go for it. I was super hyped for all the upcoming hot stuff with CCL. Just had a rough couple of weeks. And then he's like, okay, I signed up for CCL. He said this 20 hours ago. Please, someone pick. He had the cutest emotes with a little halo. And he got picked.
The final pick for 30K. She's someone that I've been really impressed with. Out of all the players in the free agent pool, she's messaged me the most on Twitter, all the social medias. She's got big desire and wants to play. With the 6th pick, 30K selects Breakwood.
One thing that really stood out to me is that you were telling me that she, like you just mentioned, kept messaging, kept showing you the clips of what she was working on. And it's that drive, it's that ambition that really stood out, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love someone that's a go-getter. I love someone that's, trying to prove themselves, and she's proven that to me. And I'm really excited to, give her a spot in this team and really see where she goes and evolves as a player. I think she's really solid. I think she's got a couple of heroes she really shines on. And if we can expand that hero pool, I definitely think season 2 CCL, maybe end of season 1, she'll be, forced to be reckoned with.
When you go back and look at the players that you've picked up, did things go as planned, or did you find yourself having to adapt a bit more than you expected?
I'm really happy with the 6 players that we've drafted. I think 30K, all of 30K fans, I don't think we could be set up with a better team than what we currently have. See y'all in playoffs is all I'm going to say.
Breakwood is a player that literally Michael Udall in the org interview that I had almost a month or so ago was literally saying, I'm looking at Breakwood. From the start of literally the scouting, before exhibitions even started, Breakwood was making highlight reels in people's DMs. They're one of the community members that I say this about a lot of community members, but they were definitely one of the ones that I was hoping would be picked up here.
Being drafted to CCL will mean that I am worthy of being part of a new generation of a competitive league, which feels like an honor and a real privilege for me. If I am drafted in CCL, I will do my best to keep pushing myself forward and perfect my gameplay. I think I have a great potential,